grade 7 students. This is your teacher for today, Teacher Cherry. Today we will discuss about the measures of variability for ungrouped data.
The objectives for today's lesson: first, define the measures of variability, such as range, average deviation, variance, standard deviation of a statistical data, and calculate the measures of variability of ungrouped data.
Are you ready, students? Let's get started.
We have two gardens, the plantito and plantita garden. What can you say about the way plants are platted in plantito garden? How about in plantita garden? You can observe that in plantito garden, the plants are close to each other, while in plantita garden, the plants are planted far to each other. Meaning, in plantita garden, the plants are spread out.
In statistics, data can also be spread differently. It can be densely packed or more spread out. And that is what we will discuss today.
When we talk about how spread out the group of score is, we are pertaining to variability. There are four measures of variability: the range, average deviation, variance, and standard deviation.
Let us define each measures of variability. Range is simply the difference between the highest score and the lowest score. This is the simplest measure of variability.
Let us have an example. In the data, we have 2, 5, 7, 3, and 6. What do you think will be the range? To solve for the range, we get the highest score minus the lowest score. The highest score in our dataset is 7, and the lowest score is 2. So, therefore, 7 minus 2 is equal to 5. The range is 5.
Let us proceed to another measures of variability, which is the average deviation. Average deviation concerns with the distance of the individual scores from the mean.
In solving average deviation, we use the formula: the summation of absolute value of x minus mean divided by n, or the total number of observations or scores, where x is the score or data, the x bar is the mean, and n is the total number of observations or scores.
Let us calculate the average deviation for this given data. We have 2, 4, 6, and 8. We have 4 steps in solving for the average deviation.
Step 1. Find the mean by using our formula. Mean is equal to the summation of x divided by n, or the number of terms. Therefore, mean is equal to 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8 divided by 4, which is equal to 20 over 4, is equals to 5. Step 2. Find the absolute difference between each score and mean. Always remember that the absolute value of any number is always positive. Let us find the absolute value of 2 minus 5, which is equal to 3. The absolute value of 4 minus 5 is 1. The absolute value of 6 minus 5 is 1. And the absolute value of 8 minus 5 is 3. Step 3. From the answers of step 2, add each absolute difference. That is 3 plus 1 plus 1 plus 3, which is equal to 8. Step 4. Divide the sum by the total number of observations. So, 8 divided by 4, which is equal to 2. Therefore, the average deviation in our dataset is 2.
The next measures of variability is variance. Variance can be solved by getting the squared difference of the score from the mean.
Symbol for variance is the square root of lowercase sigma. The formula in solving the variance is summation of the square of x minus mean divided by n, where x is the score or observation, x bar is the mean, n is the total number of observations or scores.
Let us try to solve the variance of this dataset. We have 48, 40, 45, and 43. To solve the variance, we have 4 steps to follow.
Step 1. Find the mean of the dataset. Mean is equal to the summation of x divided by n, or the number of terms. Therefore, from our dataset, mean is equal to 48 plus 40 plus 45 plus 43 divided by 4, which is equal to 176 divided by 4 equals 44. Step 2. Find the difference between each score and the mean. That is, 48 minus 44 equals 4. 40 minus 44 equals negative 4. 45 minus 44 equals 1. 43 minus 44 equals negative 1. Step 3. Square each difference and find its sum. So, square root of 4 is 16. Square root of negative 4 is equals to 16. Square root of 1 is 1. And square root of negative 1 is equal to 1. Then, let us find the sum, which is 34. Step 4. Divide the sum of the squared difference by the total number of observation, or n. From our step 3, the sum is 34. Then divided by the total number of observations, which is 4. This is equal to 8.5. Therefore, our variance is 8.5.
The next measures of variability is the standard deviation. Standard deviation is simply the square root of the variance.
Symbol for standard deviation is the lowercase sigma. In solving standard deviation, we use the formula, the square root of summation of square of x minus mean divided by n, or the number of scores, or simply standard deviation, is equal to the square root of the variance, where x is the score or observation, x bar is the mean, n is the total number of observations or scores.
Yes, you heard it right. If you have variance, then just find its square root. Then, it is now our standard deviation. Let us solve the standard deviation from our previous example. The data set is 48, 40, 45, and 43.
We all know that the variance of this data is 8.5. Therefore, to find the standard deviation, we just simply find the square root of 8.5, which is 2.9. And that is our standard deviation.
There you have it, the 4 measures of variability and how to compute them. Again, the 4 measures of variability, first we have the range, next we have the average deviation, the variance, and the standard deviation. Now it's time for some exercises. I am going to ask you 5 questions and answer each question in 15 seconds. Are you ready? Let's get started.
Question number 1. This pertains to how the set of the data is spread out. A. Standard deviation. B. Average deviation. C. Measures of variability. D. Variance. Your time starts now. Time is up. If your answer is letter C, you are right. Question number 2. It is the simplest measure of variability. A. Range. B. Mean deviation. C. Standard deviation. D. Variance. Your time starts now. Time is up. If your answer is letter A, you are correct. Question number 3. Given the data set 8, 10, 5, and 2, what is the range? A. 8. B. 7. C. 6. Or D. 5. Your time starts now. Time is up. If your answer is letter A, you got it right. Question number 4. Square root of the variance is the formula in finding the blank. A. Range. B. Average deviation. C. Variance. Or D. Standard deviation. Your time starts now. Time is up. The correct answer is letter D, standard deviation. Question number 5. This is your last question. This can be solved by getting the squared difference of the scores from the mean. A. Range. B. Average deviation. C. Variance. Or D. Standard deviation. Your time starts now. Time is up. If your answer is letter C, you are correct.
Hope you learned from this lesson, students. This is your teacher, Teacher Cherry, saying, enjoy learning math because math is life. Thank you and take care, everyone.